happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. I'm happy to be here with you, and I'm loving seeing all the green. I too don't have green in my wardrobe, so I have a plant. That's the green for today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my PowerPoint, and then we can go ahead and get started. So you all should see herbs, foods, and practices to help welcome in spring. So there we go. Okay, if anyone can't see it, just put it in the chat box. I am going to stop for various times of questions, but the whole purpose today of our presentation is to really honor in the new season that's coming and to have some foods and practices that will help bring you in alignment with the seasons this time of year, and maybe think about spring in some new and exciting ways. So with that, let's get to it. So for those of you who don't know me, although I do see a lot of familiar faces, which is always nice, I am Gina Carney. I'm a registered herbalist with the American Herbalist Guild, and I'm the owner of Herbs and Owls, which is in Jupiter, Florida, although I do herbal consults with people all over the country over Zoom. So when we think about spring, right? Spring is the season of renewal. It is all of the tender greens are popping up. You may see some flowers busting out, from the frost. But when we think about the cycle of the year, spring is very much about renewal. It's the time when we move out the stagnant winter. So in winter, we're kind of inside and we're, warm and eating stews and keeping the body warm and, kind of being stagnant. And in the spring, it's a time to open up and support the liver and the kidneys and the digestive system and the lymphatic system to get things moving in the body that have been dormant and stagnant through winter, right? So, shortly, once the frost goes away, and I know we're still seeing snow in a lot of parts of our country, but as the snows move out, we're going to begin to see all of the tender little green herbs popping up and our, crocuses and tulips and various things popping out. And those spring greens and herbs are often light and moving in the body, and many times they're associated with the flavor of bitter. So if we think about, bitter green herbs that we eat, it's important because bitter, the flavor of bitter, so something like arugula or watercress, little, nettle leaf that may be popping up. Those bitters start the digestive system. They start your mouth salivating to eat. They get your bile and your digestive juices going, and they get the body moving and clearing out excess. So many of these tender green herbs are diuretic, right? They're helping to move water out of the body. So if we think about any kind of stagnation or holding in for winter, we may have some water retention, some excess waste in the body that we haven't moved because we're not outside. And so they have this effect in cleansing out the body. So think about, how did we learn? How did we learn to go ahead and eat some bitter greens? And our ancestors used to watch the animals. They would see the bears coming out of hibernation, and the first thing that the bears do is they go and they eat all the little tender greens that are all over. And what they knew, the bears knew, that the people learned was that was help moving and clearing their system and getting ready for this new season of renewal. So I'm going to go through a couple greens and herbs that you may want to try out. So the first is chives, right? So tender little green chives will be popping up. And they're a very rich source of vitamin A, C, calcium, and iron. They're not just for your baked potato. You can put them in various things that you're cooking. Chervil is similar to parsley, but it's a very popular spice used in French cooking. That's rich in vitamin A, C, calcium, and iron as well. Lemongrass is a great spring herb. It's very tasty and it's anti-inflammatory. And then we have mint. So mint we use most of the time, throughout the year. It's delicious. But mint is helpful in supporting digestion, and it adds a brightness and a freshness to any dish. So if we think about, Whereas in winter, maybe we were having like beef stews and things that were heartier, chilies and heavier. In spring, we may think about light salads, right? Or light dishes, maybe some chicken with lemon and mint or something that's a little bit lighter to the digestive system. So dandelion is another wonderful spring green that grows and is very available now in supermarkets because it's very healthy for you. And it supports the kidneys and the liver. And the reason that's important is because the kidneys are responsible for moving the water in the body, right? And the liver is cleansing the blood. And so we want to be cleaning and moving. You can have it as a tea. So they sell, dandelion tea bags, or you can buy it fresh. Or if you live in an area where they're not spraying the grass and the weeds are popping up, you can just go pick it and, pick dandelion and add that to your salad and have it as part of your meals. Another herb that you may be familiar with is nettle. A lot of people know it as stinging nettle because if you touch the growing plant, it will sting you. It hurts a little bit, but it's very rich in vitamins and minerals and nutrients. It can be drank as a tea or added to foods. And this is right here on the top right is a picture of the nettle leaf. And on the ends of all these little points are stingers. So I'm not sure if any of you have ever seen nettle growing or have been stung by it, but if you have, you'll never forget it. I think, Rose, I see you nodding over there. Yeah, so if we're picking nettle, which grows, all over, not here in Florida as much, they're little leaves, but in the Northeast, it's pretty, it grows beautifully. If you do pick it, you can just leave it on the side and let it wilt. And as it wilts, those stingers will kind of recede, and then you can make pesto with it and eat it, and it's perfectly fine. So then we have beautiful violet. So these beautiful little violet flowers can be eaten. They're edible. They're wonderful lymph movers. So they help move the lymph in their lymphatic system. They help to cleanse the body. If you make a tea with them, it turns a beautiful purple color, and you can add them to your foods and salads. You could also use the leaf, but violet is really excellent. So I want to know, I'm going to stop my screen share right now. And I want to know, for those of you who do plant and do garden, what is it that you're planning on growing this spring? Do you have any seeds popping up? What are you guys doing? You could raise your hands or unmute yourself.
I know Frida Dickinson has a garden that she always grows a lot of stuff in. I don't know, Frida. Oh, Eva, if you want to go ahead, we can unmute. If you want to unmute.
Okay. So, hi. Good morning,
Hi.
everybody.
Morning.
Morning. So generally, for many years, I put together an organic garden, which was, excuse the pun, cultivated in me by my father. And he used to have a tremendous garden, including corn. And we live in Long Island, so it's not, like someplace where there's lots of sun or heat or anything, but generally I will grow lots of bush beans. I love them. They barely ever make it to the table because I'm eating them as I'm picking them. Cherry tomatoes. I have grown Brussels sprouts, which was fun.
Wow. Yeah,
so they come
that's
up on
great.
a big stalk, and you got them on all the different sizes of the stuff. That's great. I've grown, and by the way, the gardening that I do is container gardening. I don't bend down and break my back and stick it in the ground. They're big. I have big containers, which I have even grown carrots in. And they don't come out big. There might be little carrots, but they're sweet and they're nice. And in additional, the way my father has passed this joy onto me, I've taught my grandchildren who are 5, 8, and 12 how to garden since they're like 2. And they can't wait to get their hands in that dirt and to put the little plant in the middle of the pot. And we've even, which was real fun, my grandson and I had apple seeds. We just ate an apple. We had the seeds, And I said, let's see what happens if we put them in a paper towel, moist, and
Mhm.
let's see if they sprout. And sure enough, they did. And I grew 18 apple tree plants.
Wow.
Yeah, I gave some of them away because everybody was like blown away that I could do this. I gave some of them away, and I have one that lived. Everyone else's died, but the one I have in my backyard is now, let's see, he's 8. I think I did it with him when he was about 3 or 4.
Oh
So
my
it's,
goodness, what
quite
a gift.
yeah, but I mean, the plants, I'm short, but these little trees are taller than me. They're like a foot higher than me already. From what I understand, you don't get apples until they're like 7 years old.
They have to mature. Yep.
And also you never know what kind of apple is going to come on the tree. Because, if I planted from, I think it was a Fuji. He's a Fuji or Gala.
Mm.
And they're hybrids. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not like an authentic Macintosh or.
Right. It's not an
Yeah.
heirloom seed. Yeah.
Exactly. So you never know what you're gonna get when they
That's
finally-
amazing. And what a gift, to teach your grandchildren how to do it and then grow your own food. There's so many people that don't even know where our food comes from.
Yeah.
That's
And
fantastic.
And I gotta say, I don't think it's very what's the word? It's not a money saver. Like,
No.
as
Yeah.
opposed to.
And it's not
But
not at all, unless you have a big producing farm. I always joke because I'll plant, a whole bunch of tomato plants and get one tomato. I'm like, oh, this is a $60 tomato. Right?
Exactly.
Because it requires the time and love, right? That's fantastic. So you're
And
getting ready
space.
for spring and
It takes
space.
space, because
Yeah.
I mean, if I have even if I have 20 plants on my deck,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get, if I could walk into the supermarket and pick up a few cucumbers, which I
Right.
also grow, Kirby's I like.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, so it's
Thank
the
you.
love. It's
It
the
is a
of-
love. It is a love. And
It's
this
a
is
joy.
that time.
And when
So
you see that
yeah.
first little sprout come up, it's like, it's like giving birth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you get to see from the seed to the sprout, like that first apple you're going to eat off that tree is going to be
Oh,
like
I can't
heaven,
wait.
heaven, right?
I can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
it
love
is a
it.
great joy to garden.
Who else is planting and getting ready for spring? Anyone have seeds germinating?
I see Rose.
Yeah, Rose, what are you getting ready for?
I got permission from my owner of the house that I rent, and I have 2 raised gardens because I can't bend down, and I'm going to be planting some carrots and lettuce, and my zucchini and some eggplant.
Wow, you're going to need a little bit of a cage, I think, for that zucchini and eggplant. It's going to get
Yeah,
huge.
I've already got like a wall set up, made
Nice.
with chicken wire
Yep.
and poles, so that I can train the tendrils to go up. So
Beautiful. I never
Yeah.
have luck with zucchini because I love the zucchini flowers. To
Oh.
eat them, they're out of this world, and I always end up popping off the flowers before we get fruit.
what are the flowers? good
Oh
for?
my goodness. So there's an Italian recipe. It's called fiori de zucchi. It is zucchini flowers, and you have to do it right when you pick them. So you pick them, you take out the stamen in the middle,
Right.
you brush them off in case there's any dirt or bugs or anything. You can put a little mozzarella inside or something inside if you want. And then you make like a light batter, like a very light batter, and you can dip them in them, and you simply like fry them a little on each side. And it is out of this world. You may not have any zucchini if you try it.
I gotta have my zucchini.
So do a little, pick a couple flowers and do a little zucchini, but that's excellent to grow. It's a great plant. Yeah, the flowers are extremely expensive to purchase. I just saw that Yeah, Barbara. And that's the reason why, right? Because we're harvesting the flowers and we're not getting the fruit. And you could, I think they charge like $16 for like 8 of them. It's something insane, but
Ah.
they're really delicious, really, really delicious. So I think Beverly, you had, you said you were planning some, you got to unmute yourself so we could hear you. Thanks, Rose.
I didn't get started yet, but during COVID, I turned my whole living room into a very happy place. The back end of it became an indoor garden, and other areas were other things. And so my cousin was like raving about spices, okay, mint and
Yeah, all of
basil
our
and
medicinal
parsley.
herbs.
And I had an entire, like the long metal tables that you buy.
Yes.
You could buy them in Costco.
Yeah.
I could not fit enough. Right. And then I transferred it into larger containers. But the only one, so I had a lot of different kinds. So this year, and most of them, they sprouted, but not great. The mint and the basil and the parsley are still great, and I'm still using it. But so I'm going to go back to doing
and those are
3.
all fantastic herbs. All of our current culinary herbs are medicinal. They're all excellent for the digestive system. So put them in everything, everything you're cooking. Parsley and eggs are delicious. If you guys haven't tried that, if you're scrambling eggs and you chop up parsley and throw it in, it will change your whole experience of eggs.
And so is basil.
Yeah, basil as well.
are so
Absolutely.
good, yeah.
Fresh basil.
Fresh basil, right? Fresh
basil,
on both
yes,
of
the
those.
ones that I picked from my plants.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the presentation. We're going to have more time later to talk about our herbs that we're using. And so, okay, great. So let's keep going. So I want you all to join me now in a spring meditation, because I want us to open up to this season. So if you can, let's kind of just take a minute, sit comfortably in your chair, relax your shoulders a little, take a deep breath. And I'm going to invite everybody to please close your eyes and take in a deep breath. And as you do that, allow your shoulders to drop, and let's just come to rest in wherever you are in the world and feel your feet on the floor. Taking in a deep breath, bring light into your heart. And as we bring this light into the heart, we honor the return of the light, and we awaken our creativity and breathe in abundance. On our next deep breath in, visualize water. Now bring the water into your blossoming heart. And as you feel the blossoming heart open up to becoming wiser and kinder, more patient and graceful. And on the next breath, visualize air. Begin to feel the soft play of air on your face and hands. And feel the body light and joyful. And on the next breath, visualize the earth. See your blossoming heart springing forth, bathed in golden sunlight, pouring its water, its love onto everyone and everything around it on our beautiful earth. And on your next deep breath in, visualize the great brown bear. Feel yourself connecting with this great dreamer who emerges after a long winter. She carries with her the medicine of nurturer, protector, and teacher. And now, taking in a deep breath, visualize yourself. See yourself as an empty vessel with unlimited potential. Open up to receiving messages from your unconscious and begin to manifest your dreams. It is here that we open up to spring. In spring, we gather our potential, our desires, and we open up to brand new possibilities as the earth awakens and the sun returns. And we bring warmth to our heart's desires. So taking in a few more breaths here, pay attention to how you feel in your body. Move your consciousness to your blossoming heart, pouring your love in and around everything. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes, taking note of how you feel and the energy in the room. And feeling ready for spring renewal after a long, cold winter. Okay. Welcome back, everyone.
That was powerful.
I'm glad. And that is the energy of spring, right? Spring is so very much about connecting with our potential, feeling the elements, bringing that sunshine back. And so I want to spend the rest of our time together talking about practices that you can do by yourself, with others, but to really honor this time of year, because it's important for us to not just think of the seasons as additional months in our calendar, but to realize that we are part of nature and that we do different things at different times of year that promote our overall health, right? So let's talk about some self-care practices to welcome in spring. So one really simple thing that you may want to consider if you do like crystals is to carry around a citrine. So here's a picture of the citrine crystal. They also are little little round pieces you can get as well. But citrine carries the energy of the sun. It's warm and energizing. So like the sunlight of spring, it stimulates our chakras, which are our energy centers in our body. Citrine helps to clear the mind and enhance creativity and imagination. And it also helps us transform our dreams and wishes, stirring the soul to action. So it's one thing to think and wish, it's quite another thing to manifest, right? And really do things in your life. It also encourages fullness of life, fresh beginnings, and new pursuits. So like coming out of winter into spring, we begin to think about what is it that we want to manifest in our lives? What things are we beginning now in spring that we will grow through the summer and that we're going to harvest in the fall? So you may like to carry a citrine. The next thing, when we think about taking care of ourselves, right? Clearing the body, having self-care rituals that are simple to do, but that are very nourishing and calming, moving out stagnation in the body. We talked about winter, being inside. Right now we're warming up and we're wanting to move. So sesame oil self-massage is a beautiful way to not only honor yourself, but to help the body get moving. And so this presentation will be shared with you, but essentially what you're doing is you're taking sesame oil, which is very light. So you won't feel sticky, your skin, it absorbs right in. It's used in Ayurveda a lot, which is the Ayurveda is practiced in India pretty extensively as their healthcare system. And so what we do is we warm the oil and transfer it into a squeeze bottle, right? You get undressed, you have a towel that you don't mind getting some oil on, and you start with the scalp and the face and the ears, and you're just massaging the oil into the body, right? You're putting some in the palm of your hands and you're massaging your face in circular strokes. And then you move to your limbs. So when you have long parts of your body, you're doing long strokes, whereas smaller parts like elbows, you're doing circular strokes, okay? And so you're starting at your face and your ears and your scalp, and you're moving down the body and the arms and legs, doing the exterior parts of the body. And then you come into the torso. So you'd start with your torso, you move down your body using long strokes on your limbs, on your legs and arms, and circular strokes on your joints, and all of the smaller areas. And then you can simply go into a warm shower or bath. So often, we're so busy and we're not taking the time to care for ourselves. And this doesn't take a lot of time. You can do it once a week, a couple times a week, see how you feel. But it's a really nice way to support yourself, to honor yourself. If you have dry skin, it's helpful. If we have stagnation in the body, it's helpful. But we just want to massage the body and get things moving, right? Because in spring, again, we're moving that stagnation. So if this is something you would like to try, I highly recommend this oil by Banyan Botanicals. You can get it online. Anywhere on Amazon or on their website. And it's really light. It's an organic sesame oil. Please buy organic, right? Because this is medicine. We're taking care of ourselves. So it's not that expensive. And that bottle will last a long time, right? And so you're just warming it, using a little and taking care of yourself, and really be mindful that you're bringing yourself that love and that kindness and that patience that you may have experienced in the meditation that we just did. Any questions about this? No? Let me see. You could put them in the chat or just unmute yourself. Okay, great. All right, so let's move on. So I want us to do a little bit of an active thing here. So we're going to work with some spring intentions, okay? And so I'd like everybody to get out a pen and paper, and I'll give you a few minutes to do that if you don't have a pen and paper handy. And now that we've rested, so just come to rest, and I want to ask a few questions, and I want you to write down your answers. So who is it that you want to be this spring? Who do you want to be? What qualities or traits do you wish to embody? So I want to be a more loving mother, wife, husband, coworker, right? I want to be happier. What are the qualities and traits that you want to embody? Take some time thinking about that and write down your answers. Who do you want to be? Okay, I'll give you another minute or so. So the next question is, what do you want to do more of? What do you want to do more of this spring? Spend more time outside, more self-care. Maybe you want to take up a new hobby. What do you want more of, to do more of? I love seeing you all writing, or most of you that I can see. All right, so the next question is, what would you like to have more of? So difference of wanting more, what would you like to have more of? So I would like to have more time. I would like to have more what? Laughing. What would you like to have more of? Okay, so now take a look at the list that you've written of what you want to, who do you want to be, what you want more of, and what you want to do more. And let's talk about for a minute what surprised you about this practice. Did you write down anything that surprised you? Are there things that you feel really passionate about that you want to bring in this spring? Unmute yourself and tell me. Let's see. Anyone want to share what they want more of or who they want to be more of? Everybody's very quiet about their spring intentions. Uh-oh. Okay. So hold those things in your mind. And what I want to show you is a practice now. So we have a practice that we do in spring called planting the seeds of intention. And so I want you to think carefully about the list that you wrote down, right? About who you want to be, what you want to do, and what you want to have more of. And I want to share this with you because for everybody who is planting seeds, or maybe you're not and you just have some wildflower seeds, I want you to select some seeds. Maybe some you have now, maybe some you get in the store, something that catches your eye. Primrose, which is this little pretty bloom right here, is an edible flower that we, in our folklore, is always held sacred in spring by our goddesses and fairies. So if you do see primrose and you feel called to plant some of these little beauties, you can use her. However, any seeds will do. Okay, so in all of those intentions that you set for yourself, I want you to hold the seeds in your hand and put all of those intentions of who you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to have, hold them and put those intentions in those seeds for what you want to attract and grow in your life. And then you can spread the seeds by hand, whether you're doing it outside in a pot, And as you're doing that, envision the sunlight filling those seeds with warm golden light and encouraging them to burst forth, grow, and blossom. Right? So this is a practical, hands-on, intention-based way to bring into your life what you desire. And then envision your personal intentions blossoming with each of the wildflowers or each of the flowers that you planted. So wherever they are and wherever you plant those seeds, as you walk by them and you see them, connect with what your intentions were as those flowers are blooming, right? Because it's our intentions, and the seeds hold that possibility of all of that intention. And as they blossom, I want you to connect with that and connect it with your heart and your own intentions for yourself. So how many people, or how many of you feel like you'd like to do this? Have you ever practiced anything like this before? So Eva, have you ever done anything like this before? Oh, let's unmute you.
I have not done anything like this, and it sounds wonderful. It sounds really good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting, I'm going to see if I can get the primrose.
Okay,
And
great.
yeah, and I'm just excited. I can't wait to do it.
Yeah. And it's one thing I love about it is because you forget, and you can even take your intentions that you wrote down, and as you plant those seeds, put that paper in the ground with it. Right? Because we're bursting forth and we're bringing those things into life. And it's important that not only in the seeds that we're planting in the spring, but like, what projects are you starting? What are you setting out for your year? What are you planting now that I promise you're going to harvest in September? Good, bad, or indifferent. So we might as well be mindful about it. Right?
You're right. Since I'm a container gardener, do you think it would be as effective if I have a pretty pot and
absolutely
do it in the pot?
Nature is not biased. Growing is growing. You can put it anywhere. You can be in a city and have a little pot in a windowsill. It's totally fine. Yep.
I remember my mother used to say, because she also liked gardening, she would say, everything wants to live.
Yeah.
And she would have all her little plants. And my brother also has all these gorgeous plants all over the living room.
Yeah.
And there's something very, very connected between ourselves and the plants.
Because we're the same. We are nature. There is no difference between us and nature. Same
it's
thing.
wonderful. It's really, I'm loving this presentation, by the way. It's fabulous.
Oh, good. Thank you.
You have such beautiful energy.
Thank you. Anyone else feel like they're going to plant seeds of intention? Rose, I saw you writing quite a bit over there. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, Rose takes a lot of notes. She's very
I love
good.
it. I love it.
She would get an A+ in every class. I'm telling you.
I don't think I'd get an A+.
I don't know, Rose.
I'm giving you an A+.
Yeah.
I have primroses.
Oh, beautiful.
So I never thought about them being, that way, but yeah, I have a lot of roses, period, around the place, not because of my name. I just happen to like them.
So in a lot of folklore and various stories, primrose is very much associated with the spring and the fairies. So if you can, and you have them growing outside, go sit with them. Sit with that energy of the spring. Find those little fairies in there. I love it.
And all the bees.
And all the bees. Yeah. And all the bees that we need. Okay. So there's 2 questions about the sesame oil I just want to address. How long to massage? A couple minutes in each area. It's up to you. The whole process doesn't take more than 10, 15 minutes, right? You're just working your body. You can go as long or as short as you want. This is your self-care practice. Honor yourself and take the time that you need. And then a question about itchy scalp and body, someone making kit. So there are various herbs that support with stones and things in the body. That's a much larger conversation. The itchy, you want to know why things are itchy to cool things down. So I'm not sure sesame oil would address that, although it would moisten, right? So, okay. So let me go back to our.
I see Barbara Waldron has her
Oh,
hand up, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out also about the sesame oil. Do you use it before you shower or after? Because I kind of missed that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So you can do the massage and then get in a warm shower. So do it before you shower. However, the oil is light enough that you don't require a shower after, right? But it is nice to then bring in that heat to the body and that warmth of like absorbing it into the tissue. So I recommend before a shower, but again, you can like turn the shower on so the room gets a little warm and then do the massage and then get in the shower or a bath. That's a nice practice.
But then wouldn't I be washing off the oil?
So the oil is being absorbed into the skin, right? And so as with the heat, it will come in even more. Yeah, you're not washing it. Yeah, it would be fine. It's just a matter of using the oil to oil the body, then getting into warmth so it absorbs in.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Sit on the sun or patio. Yeah, absolutely. You would leave some clothes on though, if you're on the patio, or
Right.
maybe you're not. I don't
Maybe
know.
not.
Outdoor shower, fabulous, right? Yeah,
I was thinking
absolutely.
without clothes.
Right.
Patio.
And
Okay.
is aloe good for itching? Deb
So
asked?
aloe is good more for like soothing and cooling. So yeah, I mean, it may be itching. What kind of itching? Let me ask that question. So dry itch, if it's about dry skin, you want to lubricate the body. You want healthy oils. Any kind of oil rubbing on is going to be really nice to support the body. Itching because of problems in the blood coming out through the skin. So hives and things like that. That's another indication that we would want some blood cleansing herbs. But topically, aloe is cooling, so it may help as well. But I need to know more about why you're itching, and there's a lot of questions there. Okay. So great. So primrose, great. All right. So another practice that you may really like to participate in is called Finding Your Spring Spirit Song. Right. And this I've adapted from a book called The Magical Year by Danu Forest, which is so beautiful. She goes through all the different seasons and different practices. But there is music, and each one of us has a song inside. And so I wanted to just present this to you as an option for those of you who like to be outside and feel yourself in nature. The practice here is to go outside, close your eyes, and feel the sacred space around you, right? Feel your feet on the earth, your breath filling your lungs, feel yourself at one with nature. And then we begin to use the voice. So the voice is one of our best healing instruments, our very own voice. So we begin to tone sounds, the soft vowel sounds. So ah, right? Then oh, maybe you're doing A, E, I, O, U. It's up to you. So you come outside, you begin to tone ah. And with each breath, you're holding the intention to call in your song moment by moment. So every one of our beautiful souls that are here in creation, right, in this beautiful garden on Mother Earth, we have a song inside of our heart that we can call forth at any time, but it's nice to do this in spring. So when we start by toning and then holding the intention to bring in our song, we don't think about the words. We just let the sound and tempo and pitch be created in the moment. And we open up to allow the spirits and the energy of nature, right, to open up and show us the voice. And slowly you begin to sing your spring spirit song. You feel your throat chakra opening up. So our throat chakra is right here. And you feel that part of your body opening and the blockages are removed, and you may get new ideas and spontaneity. So you can, I'm going to kind of show you what this looks like, right? We're outside, we're grounded, we're holding our space. You begin to tone, ah. You're calling in all of those plants and spirits and guides and beauty that's around you. And as your voice just starts going up and down and changing, and maybe words come in and you don't know why the words are coming in, but you're just singing them, you just go with it. Maybe you're humming. And for those of you who are like, oh my goodness, my neighbors are going to think I'm crazy. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Trust yourself, sing low if you feel like you need to, but as you gain more confidence and as this song starts emerging within you, you're going to find yourself singing it over and over. I could share with you, I once was doing this and a song came to me and I have been singing it ever since. So really, you have this beautiful intuition that you can use and this beautiful spirit inside of you. And when you connect that with nature and open up the throat chakra for singing, see what comes through. Why not? Right? Why not? So this is a beautiful, beautiful practice that you can participate in this spring. It's a good one. All right. So let me see, my PowerPoint is not moving. Don't know why. Uh-oh. Let me go back. Okay, so I want to open it up now again and ask what practices do you think of what we've talked about today you will try? And then in the presentation here, I have a free ebook. I think Ashley always shares the link so you can go ahead and get it. But I want to just chat about any of those practices. Who feels confident enough to sing their spring song outside or inside with all their plants? I know you're going to do it, Eva. Yep, absolutely. And so we open up, right? This part of our body, our throat chakra is so important right here. And so you can tone, and you can feel this part of you vibrating. And it's when we open up this part of our body that we can ask for and receive what we truly desire, right? We need to be able to find our voice, to open up to possibilities, to manifesting our creativity and our dreams. And that is what spring is all about, 100%. So as we come into this season for almost a renewed time after the few years that we've had, I really encourage all of you to embrace these things that have been done for years and years and hundreds of years. Our ancestors have always welcomed in spring in these various ways. And so I hope you'll bring these practices back. Oh, Barbara, you have your hands up.
Yeah, I have a lot of plants in my window because I love plants, but I never thought about singing to them. Sometimes I'm cleaning the leaves and I may talk to them and say, well, listen, I'm sorry I didn't clean you earlier. Look how much dust you have. I turn them around because they follow the sun. So you constantly have to be turning them around. But I like what you said to sing to them because I sing.
Yes. Oh, nice.
So now I'm going to go down there and sing to my plants and I would love it. Thank you so much.
So there is actually studies. So plants are always making sounds. And there are people that are now recording the music that plants are making. It is a beautiful field. So earlier, Nicole and I were talking about sound therapy and the benefits of frequency and sound therapy. And we know that nature is at 432 hertz, but the trees and the flowers and the plants all are making music. We just don't hear it. And so our technology now has gotten smarter, where we can hear the plant song. And it's really amazing. I have a link. I'm going to share it with you in the Zoom, and it is singing plants at Damaher. Let me put this in here. And it's a YouTube video that you can actually listen to of them recording the sounds that plants are making. And there's that link. And it's quite amazing. It's quite amazing. So they are singing in your home and they change, they change, and you could sing to them all the time. And we know we talk to our plants, right? You go walking by when they're weepy and they need water. You're like, okay, I'm coming right back,
Yeah,
so we hear it.
I'm sorry. Some of them, I don't really know all the names of my plants. I just love plants. but they would tell you I need water because the leaves start curving, and then you realize
right.
that I go over and say, I'm sorry. And then I would water it and then it spring right back up again. I
That's
learned a
right.
lot from my plants, but you're teaching me more and I appreciate it.
And the plants are always, always teaching. So if we think about nature, nature gives to us all day, every day, and asks nothing in return. Our clothes, our food, our air is coming from nature all of the time. And so that relationship, that ability to have communication and relationship is there. We just need to open up to that possibility. Our songs are already there inside of us. We just have to open up to sing them. And the plants want to hear them, right? The plants want to hear them. Oh, and okay, yeah, and the ebook. So let me give you that
And
too.
we will follow up with the recap will add the ebook, the singing plants, and the other
Awesome.
link for, yeah, and of course your ebook and the other book, The Magical Year. We'll include that and the
Oh.
sesame trail. But there was a question from Frida Smith, which crystals could we wear to help protect us from harmful rays of this new 5G, and which herbs are good maybe for an allergy post-nasal cough?
Okay, so I'm not a crystal expert, and I don't proclaim to be. I'm sure, I know there are crystals that people are using to help, ward off different energies and etc. But unfortunately, I don't know them. And so the other herbs for allergy, post-nasal cough, etc. Some herbs that are helpful is nettle. Goldenrod is helpful. It depends how you get it. If your nose, but you want to just look for herbs that have antihistamine properties, that are cooling and soothing. And so those are some that are helpful. There's also an herb called butterbur, which has been shown, I think it was either, not Allegra, it was one of the allergy medications that they did a study showing butterbur versus it, and it actually was equal to or better than, and that is Butterbur. Make sure you have the right preparation. It's sold in capsules, so you may want to consider that. In the Northeast, goldenrod is helpful as a tea or a tincture. But again, allergies is a larger question. And if you suffer with seasonal allergies, you want to be taking preparations, 1 to 2 months before those seasons settle in, supporting the body, right? So that when the allergy, that time of year comes, you're better able to handle it. So as an herbalist, I work with clients longer term, but in the moment, those are some herbs that are helpful. Yes, Rose.
I have a question about, you said lemongrass is good for anti-inflammatory. What other herbs, and maybe, I know that onions are helpful with anti-inflammatory, but what other herbs and maybe teas or something that I can take, because of the warfarin I take, I'm not allowed to take anti-inflammatories. So I'm trying to use, I'm going through like 10 onions every week. So I was just wondering, is there some others that I can possibly use?
Some of our food, turmeric as a food is anti-inflammatory. But that being said, without knowing, what medications you're on, what you're taking, and more about you as an individual, I mean, you can look at herbs that are anti-inflammatory, incorporate them into your diet, but I'm hesitant to make specific recommendations for that reason. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, so turmeric is a great one. You can make it as part of your food. You can do different things like that. But yeah, that's a bigger. So herbs most of them are food. Many of them are very helpful. We can incorporate, but when there's medications involved and specific things, we need to be careful about how we're working with them and what we're taking.
So if I would contact you separately, could
yeah, if
help
you
me
wanted
with
to
that?
do a consult, we could certainly do that. And I can learn a lot more about you and then make specific recommendations for you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. You're
And we
welcome.
include Gina's email and her contact information and the recap. So you could always find it on our website under event experts, which always lives there. So
Yeah.
we'll have that for you, Rose.
So I want to wish all of you a wonderful,
I just-
wonderful spring.
I just see Eva,
Oh.
one last hand. Let's just go right there.
Oh, a hand. Okay.
Go ahead, Eva.
Okay, got it. I couldn't unmute. So, so I have a question. I have a gorgeous cut citrine that was left to me by my mother. Will that have the same effect as a raw crystal?
Oh yeah, all citrine. Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
same thing. Some of them are polished jewelry. You could have a necklace of it. Yeah.
This is a necklace. It's about that big and it's a very unusual cut. It's not like a standard cut. It's like a
Yeah.
asymmetrical kind of cut.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Really amazing.
So your mom brought you the sunshine. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
There you
start
go.
wearing it.
Definitely.